into it after spring break, sort of get the momentum going again?
Yeah, it was fun. To be able to come back and have pads on. The O-line, you could really see what they could do. Same thing with D-line, because when they don't have pads on, it's hard for them to block or to get off. Same thing with receivers and running backs. So it was fun to get back out.
How much does contact change things? I mean, especially for guys who are here for their first game and all.
We haven't done that much contact today. I think as the week goes on, it's going to be more and more. But today was just getting out, feeling the pads, and kind of going from there.
Do you guys know when the first scrimmages yet? Have they told you?
No, they have not told us.
Okay.
It's been like seeing the first-team offensive line start to mesh here, especially with Dakota and Carlos, a couple first-year guys out there. First-year play.
It's fun because for me coming in, there's also, like me and the rest of the quarterbacks, for us to come in, this is going to be the first time any of us are actually playing, not just getting in on any end of some games. For them to be able to come in and step in the same shoes, it's kind of nice to have someone else who's going through the same things, and they're able to pick each other up, help each other with little things, and move forward from there. From what I see, they're already very close. I'm in the lineman group chat. They're you honestly you have to put it on silent because they talk a lot, but they're my guys. But they're close. I don't think they get any closer. I'm pretty sure they hang out on the weekends all the time. They have a good time.
Tommy, I was curious. A couple weeks ago, you were talking about the thing that you guys put on the barbell that measures the speed. Had you used that before you came here, or was that a new thing?
No, that was something new that's come to me when I got here.
Okay. And so, how do you feel like that's something that kind of helps you guys? How does it?
For sure, it helps you get some feedback, not only from coaches, but that's feedback that you just get from the machine. It can't be wrong unless something weird is happening. But it's good. It's good to have something that's showing you your results.
So it's another thing that you guys kind of check, not just weight, but you'll go and look. And basically, it shows you how hard you move.
How fast you
move.
Yes.
And who else uses that? Is it the quarterbacks that are in your group, or?
Yes, both quarterbacks are in it with me, as well as a couple skill position guys.
What skill position guy?
Like Sean Riley, Carl Jones. It's more of an explosive group that they're trying to build.
Okay.
So you obviously saw Eric throw yesterday. I'm curious, when you kind of looked at his mechanics, what was different about the guy that from yesterday from the bowl game?
He looked great out there. He looked comfortable. I've known Jake for a couple years now. I actually met him at the opening out in Oregon, so that's kind of where our relationship started. But seeing Eric come out here, he looked fluent. He looked clean. He looked precise. Everything looked great, and I was excited to see that.
For a guy that's been throwing the way he has for 4 years, how hard is it to change that muscle memory, and how much work do you think has to really go into that?
It's tremendously hard, more than anyone can understand. If you have not played the position of quarterback, it would be hard to understand because everything is so little and everything little can make such a big impact. It's kind of like corners or DBs or any kind of defensive players, it starts with their feet. So for quarterbacks, it all starts with your feet and then you move your way up. But to break habits that you've been doing for so many years has to be really hard, and you have to really lock into everything at all times.
Sure.
Did you start thinking about that day? I mean, it's going to be here probably before you know it, pro day.
Yeah, I try not to look into the future, but to be out there and help them out, kind of see the whole script and see how it goes down. It was good to experience.
I was looking through some old team stats when Baylor was up and running with Art Briles and things like that. And quarterback was still for 4,000 yards. Running back was 1,000 yards. They had another running back that was close to 1,000 yards. And you have kind of discussions with Dino the offseason about kind of the amount of meat left on the bone in this offense and kind of what this offense can still become statistically.
That's a discussion that we had actually when I was getting recruited, as far as running the offense as it should be. When they first got here, it was slower, and you can see as last year and the year after that, it's been progressing more and more. So we hope to keep progressing and keep putting up all those crazy numbers. The defense keeping us on the field, so we're able to put up those numbers, and it's going to be fun.
What are there metrics maybe within the passing game that you think need, maybe not totals, that need to be hit, efficiency stats for it to run as expected, completion percentage or third down conversion rate?
For sure. I'm almost positive that the coaches go through that and they look back and see what people are good at. This is why we actually have practice, because that's all we do. We find out what works really well and what we're really good at and what we really need to work on in order to be there.
But it's not numbers that maybe you're as concerned with, it's more your day-to-day and execution that you...
Right, yeah. There's some plays here and there that you got to get comfortable with, and if you're not comfortable with them, you better get comfortable with them because that's just how the offense works.
For sure.
When you were being recruited, did you think of yourself as a maybe 3-and-out guy?
No, I've never thought of course it's always crossed everyone's mind because everyone's dream is, if you're playing football in college, you always want to dream about going to the NFL, and I mean, it's always been a dream. That would be a dream come true. But right now, I'm focusing on my career right now in college.
On the weightlifting, I'm actually curious. Do you guys is there sort of an incorporation of, I think a lot of people think weightlifting is like meatheads, like lift big weight, stuff like that. How analytic do you guys get with like coaches using data at different points and like sort of measuring different things beyond just like raw output?
Right, so they have different groups. So like I said before, my group's more the explosive group, but then if you go to the rack right behind me, you've got big Evan Adams that's there lifting a tremendous amount of weight. You know, he's always by our rack messing around, and it's just a good time in the weight room. So to see the big blue guys, which is mainly the linemen, throwing up all that weight, and then us moving weight just different ways, they're being very smart with it.
And yeah, so do coaches, do they have like a sheet or something that they're checking, or do they come in and say like we're aiming for this sort of thing?
Right, yeah, exactly. They'll come in with any kind of percentage, and then we just go off of that percentage.
Okay.